Assalamu alaikum class. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is fluoride in dentistry. This chapter is very important from examination point of view. Sometimes it carries two questions in your paper, sometimes one question, including MCQs. It is very important for Viva as well. So listen all my lectures attentively. Okay. Last time we have been ended with dental indices chapter. We discussed Dean's fluorosis index in very detail and Engel's classification of malocclusion as well. I will just go through some important points from our previous lecture just for a quick revision. Okay. So Dean's fluorosis index was first presented by Trunley Dean for the assessment of dental fluorosis. It is categorized by Tremblay into the normal, questionable, very mild, moderate and severe type of fluorosis. And these all forms of fluorosis they have been discussed in our previous lecture in very detail. Then we discussed community fluorosis index. The idea of presenting community fluorosis index was to devise a method for calculating the prevalence and severity of fluorosis in a group or whole community. Because as I told you in previous lecture that Dean's fluorosis index can only tell us different types and categories of fluorosis. So to calculate the burden of dental fluorosis in a community or in a group, we will use community fluorosis index. This is in short all about our previous lecture. Then we also discussed Engel's classification system of malocclusion. It carries class 1, class 2 and class 3 malocclusion and its drawbacks. Now comes to our today's topic of discussion, that is very important from examination point of view. I told you it is fluoride in dentistry. So at the end of the lecture, inshallah, you will be able to learn what is fluoride, its natural occurrence and dietary sources, its metabolism, its historical background and its toxicity. So these are the content of discussion for our today's lecture. So fluoride is basically a compound form of fluorine. Okay, and it is an extremely reactive member of halogen group. Fluorine is a very reactive gas, so that's why it is not found in free elemental form in nature. When we talk about its natural sources, major source is from water. That may be artesian wells, springs and that may be a seawater. Okay, it is also found in soil that is rich in fluorspar, cryolite and other minerals. So major natural source is basically water. It is also found in plants, food and human calcified structures, as we all know, includes teeth and skeleton. Okay. So as a nutrient, it is very beneficial to dental health. When comes to its dietary sources, as I previously told you that its major source is from water. ठीक है, waterborne fluoride are the most important source of fluoride for humans. And use of fluoridated water is also fluoridated water can also be used in the preparation of processed foods and beverages. Fluoride is basically widely distributed in Earth's crust. It is the 13th most prevalent element and found in both igneous and sedimentary rocks. As we all know about fluoride that it plays a very important role in prevention of dental caries. It is one of the, we can say it is one of the best armamentarium used in the prevention and control of dental caries. Now comes to its optimum level. Okay, for temperate climate or the areas where temperature remain moderate, its optimum level in water should be 1 part per million of fluoride. And when we talk about for infants and young children, if their water intake is 2 to 4 glasses, then fluoride level should be 0.5 to 1 milligram. Fluoride level should be in their drinking water. When it comes to older children and adolescents and adults, if their intake of water restrict to 6 to 8 glasses, then optimum level of fluoride in drinking water should be 1.5 to 2 milligram. Okay, so it tells us that ingestion of fluoride greater than optimum levels in drinking water, that would be if it would be greater than 2 part per million, it will cause fluorosis. 2 part per million is the upper maximum limit of fluoride. Okay, if fluoride level will exceed from this level, from this value, then it will create problem for human body. Okay, its natural occurrence is I told you it is present in springs, artesian wells, seawater, plants, and it is also present in very less amount in rainwater. Okay, then comes to the food. Seafood contains very high level of fluoride. Sardines, as the fish, sardines, salmon and mackerel contain 20 part per million fluoride. Ocean water also contain 1 part per million fluoride. Rock salts contain fluoride ranges between 40 and 200 part per million. Then tea also contain, dried tea leaves also contain 100 to 400 part per million fluoride. Leafy plants, all leafy plants, for example lettuce, cabbage, contain 11 to 26 microgram fluoride. Then fluoride is also present in the form of airborne fluoride emissions in the vicinity of industries. Airborne fluoride emissions also present in the vicinity of industries because it involved in the production of aluminium from cryolite or phosphate fertilizers. And the airborne fluoride in such areas occurs as particulate dust. वहाँ पर ये dust की form में जो है वो present होगा. as hydrofluoric acid and gaseous fluorine. Okay, so this was all about the natural and dietary sources of fluoride. Yes, fluoride also present in pharmaceutical products. Contain fluoride in organic. It is present in pharmaceutical products in both organic and inorganic form, such as sodium fluoride tablets, fluoride dentifrices, fluoride gels and solutions used for the prevention and control of dental caries. So this was all about its natural occurrence, its dietary sources. Okay, now comes to some historical background of fluoride. The use of fluoride for dental purposes began in the 19th century actually. But in 1892, Sir James Browne emphasized the importance of fluoride. He relates the change of taking bread with husk part of wheat to white bread and the increase of dental caries, because the husk part of wheat also contain a very high level of fluoride. So he suggested that fluoride missing from the husk part of wheat be reintroduced into the diet of childbearing women and children to decrease the incidence of dental caries. So it was somewhere present in 18th century, or Sir James Browne also emphasized the importance of fluoride. Now comes to 19th century. Dr. Frederick Mackay highlighted the great impact of fluoride in our drinking water. He went to Colorado. He observed that children living in Colorado Springs, all their lives had permanent stain on their teeth. He named that stain as Colorado stain and mottled enamel. He also observed that the children and the adults that are migrated from somewhere else, they don't have stain, that same type of stain on their teeth. Then in 1916, Mackay and Dr. G.B. Black, Dr. G.B. Black was the one who gives the dental caries classification that we will discuss in our further lectures. Dr. G.B. Black and Mackay mapped the geographical area of the stain where the stains were actually present. They noticed that 87.5% children in native area with the stain. So it will count as 9 out of 10 children. So the permanent residents that were living in that area permanently, उनमें से 87.5% children in native area were having that stains. So it will count as 9 out of 10 children. Then in 1939, finally Mackay and Trenderdine concluded that the incidence of mottled enamel were halted by reducing the level of fluoride in water to 1 part per million. So they both reached to the result that fluoride is a compound that is the reason for these Colorado stain, is the reason for these mottled enamel. So whenever there is a high level of fluoride in the drinking water, the level exceeds from optimum level, these stains will be appeared. ठीक है? This was all about its brief historical background of the fluoride. Now comes to metabolism of fluoride. Major sites of absorption include stomach, okay, Some studies also suggest intestinal absorption can also occur. Soluble fluoride in drinking water is completely absorbed, whereas 50 to 80% of the fluoride in food is absorbed. Its distribution, it is distributed in teeth and skeleton, ठीक है, in very high concentration. The reason is due to the increased affinity of fluoride to calcium, or it is present in a very high amount in cementum, bone, dentine and enamel. Fluoride content of teeth increases rapidly during early mineralization, okay, during early mineralization period of enamel, and continues to increase with age, but at a very slower rate, okay. When the age increases, it will continues to increase, but at a very slow rate. It is also found in both extracellular and intracellular fluids of soft tissue, but at a very low concentration. It is also found in saliva in the value of 0.01 part per million, okay. And this saliva plays a very important role in maintenance of fluoride concentration in the outer layer of tooth enamel. Now comes to its excretion. Principal route of excretion is urine. Sorry. 90 to 95% of the fluoride excreted through urine, and the remaining 5 to 10% will be excreted through feces. Outstanding characteristic of fluoride excretion is its rapid speed. It excreted through very rapid speed. Excretion is basically directly related to degree of active bone growth. Fluoride excretion is lower when a child is growing rapidly, okay, because in the growing age fluoride is needed to the bone, okay, is needed for the tooth development. So at that age fluoride excretion is lower, okay, and at that age it is actively depositing bone material, ठीक है, as compared to adults. Adults में इसकी जो एक्सक्रीशन है दैट विल बी फास्टर, ठीक है. बच्चों में इसकी एक्सक्रीशन जो है वो स्लो होगी, क्योंकि बच्चों में जो है रिक्वायर्ड होता है फ्लोराइड बोन्स के लिए और टीथ की डेवलपमेंट के लिए, जबकि जब एडल्ट हो जाते हैं, ग्रोथ कंप्लीट हो जाती है, मेच्योर बोन्स हो जाती हैं, तो फिर आपके टीथ फुली मिनरलाइज्ड हो जाते हैं, फ्लोराइड की ज़रूरत नहीं होती, तो इसकी एक्सक्रीशन फास्ट होती है. ये अलग तरफ से देखें बनाया हुआ मेथड है, ठीक है, कि जब उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट है तो उसकी एक्सक्रीशन स्लो है, और जब रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, टीथ फुली मिनरलाइज्ड हैं, ग्रोथ हो चुकी है, एडल्ट एज में इसकी एक्सक्रीशन जो है वो फास्टर होगी. About half of the ingested fluoride is excreted in the urine each day. That's why we said it's an outstanding characteristic of fluoride excretion is its speed. Then comes to its storage. It stores in the bones. ठीक है. Factors that attract fluoride to bones are: number one, presence of an active growth area at the end of long bones. Number two, small size of bone crystals. ठीक है. And number three, close contact between bones and blood supply. So these all are the factors that attract fluoride to bones. It is, as we all know, it is also deposited in the enamel through diffusion. ठीक है. So carious enamel may take up to 10 times more fluoride than adjacent healthy enamel to inhibit expansion of carious lesion. Dentine may contain even more fluoride, chemically similar to bone. Highest concentration found adjacent to pulp. Highest concentration of fluoride is found adjacent to pulp, close to blood supply. So this chart will show all about the metabolism of fluoride, its excretion, its storage, its distribution, its absorption. as we will take it through the diet, it will go to the digestive tract, okay, then it will circulate into the whole plasma, then it will go to the saliva, it will deposit it to the teeth, bone, ठीक है, it will excrete it through sweat, it will excrete it to breast milk, it will excrete it through urine, ठीक है. यूरिन जो है 90 to 95% जो है यूरिन के थ्रू एक्सक्रीट होता है, एंड रिमेनिंग विल बी excreted through feces. So this picture shows all the metabolism of fluoride. Almost all fluoride in plasma is in ionic form and is not bound to any macromolecule. And the plasma half-life of fluoride is reported to be 4 to 10 hours. Blood plasma fluoride level begins to rise about 10 minutes after ingestion and reach at maximum level within 60 minutes. Okay. This is the chart showing the dietary sources of fluoride in food with the optimum level of fluoride. That food you can just read it, as I have told you previously all the dietary sources with the optimum levels. There is no need to memorize all these optimum levels of dietary foods, but the important one that I told you that you should remember, you should memorize them. Now comes to the toxicity of fluoride. Toxicity is a very critical situation of fluoride. It includes acute toxicity and chronic toxicity. When we use the term acute का मतलब है कि सिंगल लार्ज अमाउंट जो है वो एक ही दफ़ा में ले ली जाए, ठीक है. So it refers to rapid intake of an excess dose over a short period of time. Okay. Its certainly lethal dose is in adult is 5 to 10 grams sodium fluoride taken at one time, or 32 to 64 milligram fluoride per kg body weight. For children, it is lethal dose is 2.5 gram of sodium fluoride. Its safety tolerated dose is 1/4 of the certainly lethal dose. Okay, it is in adult is 1.25 to 2.5 gram sodium fluoride, or 8 to 16 milligram fluoride per kg body weight. Signs and symptoms of acute poisoning begin within 30 minutes of ingestion of fluoride. In GIT, fluoride in the stomach is acted by hydrochloric acid to form hydrofluoric acid. Chloride element will be replaced by fluoride. So it will form hydrofluoric acid that is irritable to stomach lining. It will cause nausea, vomiting and diarrhea, abdominal pain, and increase salivation and thirst. When we see systemically to CVS, it will cause hyperreflexia, convulsions and paresthesia. For CVS, for CNS, it will it's a typographical error in the slide. It's not CVS, it's CNS. Okay, CNS में it will cause hyperreflexia, convulsions and paresthesia. In CVS में cardiac failure, and in respiration it will cause respiratory distress. Now comes to the treatment. Acute poisoning में emergency treatment will include you have to induce vomiting, okay, and you have to administer fluoride binding liquid. If patient do not vomit, that could be milk, that could be a lime water, and then go for gastric lavage. Support respiratory and circulation of the patient, and then call emergency services and transport to hospital. Now comes to its chronic poisoning. Chronic poisoning mean that is slow poisoning. You are giving excess level of fluorides. You are giving a minute excess level of fluorides over a long period of time. Okay, so it applies to long term ingestion of fluoride in amounts that exceed the approved therapeutical levels. ठीक है, that is the that will be more than optimum level of fluoride. Continued ingestion of high doses of naturally occurring fluoride will be reflected in changes in the teeth. Okay, fluorosis of enamel is caused by defective matrix formation, that is hypoplasia. Hypoplasia, as I told you before, hypoplasia is the underdevelopment of enamel. That is probably due to direct effect of fluoride on ameloblast metabolism. Lesion is usually confined to outer third of enamel, giving opaque white flecks appearance in mild fluorosis. So basically mottling of enamel is caused by the long-term ingestion of fluoride in amount that exceeds the approved therapeutic levels. ठीक है, I'm not going in detail the clinical features of mottling of enamel because I have discussed in very detail in our previous lecture all these types of fluorosis. Okay, so I'm not going in detail. These are the types of fluorosis: normal, moderate, severe, as we discussed in our previous lecture. Hopefully सबको इसकी समझ आ गई होगी. ठीक है, सो एक तो जो क्रॉनिक टॉक्सिसिटी है वो मोटलिंग ऑफ एनामल करेगी. ठीक है, और दूसरा जो क्रोनिक टॉक्सिसिटी है दैट विल ऑल्सो लीड टू स्केलेटल फ्लोरोसिस. ओके, इन स्केलेटल फ्लोरोसिस बेसिकली वेग पेन होगी इन स्मॉल जॉइंट्स ऑफ हैंड्स एंड फीट, नी जॉइंट्स एंड जॉइंट्स इन द स्पाइन. ठीक है, एंड द साइन एंड सिम्टम्स इंक्लूड स्टिफनेस ऑफ स्पाइन, difficulty in walking, rigidity of thoracic cage. So this was all about our today's lecture. ठीक है, in our next lecture inshallah we will discuss different routes of administration of fluoride. Okay, and we will discuss only systemic fluoride or water fluoridation in detail. Okay, so thank you so much.